1974, Grayling, Michigan. Early spring, evening. Glass crunches and cracks like breaking ice as two cars collide. The damage is minor, but for one of the drivers, it's the last straw. It's just the latest in a string of bad decisions that haunts both the young man's present and his foreseeable future. Perhaps, even at the young age of 17, the weight of those choices feels like too much for him to bear. He heads away into the night, down the interstate, out of the lives of his family and friends, and seemingly out of history itself. Since that day, for almost 50 years, Perry Otto Corlew has been missing. His older brother Michael hopes that a cryptic phone call is a clue that Perry is alive, but this has never been confirmed. Perry is still gone. Perry Otto Corlew was born on July 5, 1956, to Roberta and Dewey Bud Corlew. He had two brothers and a sister. He grew into a tall, skinny youth with a mop of long, wavy brown hair and gray-green eyes. He wore glasses, and as a small child, Perry suffered a severe injury to his left thumb when he caught it in a car door. He loved cartoons, and a running joke between him and his older brother Michael was that the two boys would speak in Looney Tunes character voices to each other while on the telephone. He had an interest in drawing and in mechanics, particularly cars. Not all of Perry's interests were benign, however. As a teenager, he apparently became involved in some petty crimes, namely breaking and entering, and had a poor driving record. These factors may have been a reason for Perry's disappearance, as some in his family believed that the pressure created by Perry's arrest record may have pushed the young man to feel that his life in Grayling could not continue. Around 8:30 p.m. on the evening of March 15, 1974, Perry became involved in a minor accident with another motorist, described as a fender bender in some of the research sources I've found, in front of the Rialto Theater. His car, a 1971 Buick Skylark that Perry had just bought, suffered only minor damage, a broken headlight. No one was reported as injured. However, Perry left the scene of the accident before police could arrive. His family believes that he may have left because he was afraid of getting in further legal trouble. Only 17, a few months shy of his 18th birthday, Perry was already on probation for breaking and entering, and this latest accident added another black mark to his already spotty driving record. The teenager headed south on Interstate 75 and left his car 15 miles south of Grayling. Around 90 minutes after the accident was reported, the abandoned car was called in to police by a trucker. Authorities who investigated the Skylark reported a baffling mystery. The car was left running on the side of the highway, its lights on, its driver's side door open. No footprints in the snow were seen around the car. No clues as to where the driver might have gone, or if anyone might have been with him. Perry Otto Corlew had vanished entirely into the cold Michigan night. Since that evening in 1974, there have been scant clues as to what might have become of Perry, where he might be now, or if he is alive or dead. Did he leave the car and become overwhelmed by the cold and perish from exposure? Did he commit suicide? Or did he meet with foul play at the hands of an unknown assailant sometime after abandoning the car? The outcome that his friends and family hope for is that Perry is still alive, but hiding under a new identity. Some think that he may have gone to Canada, Florida, or California, adopted a new name, and started a new life for himself, free of any fear of punishment for his youthful mistakes. Perhaps he might have found work as a car mechanic. But all that is just hopeful speculation. There are no solid leads. Some errors by law enforcement in the search for Perry have complicated matters. In 1975, a teenage boy's body found hanging from a persimmon tree in Belle Chasse, Louisiana, was considered as a possible lead. The young John Doe was estimated to be between the ages of 16 and 17, though some slightly older missing persons have been considered, as being possibilities for the identity of this young man. Perry Otto Corlew was one of them. Perry's dental records were sent to Louisiana. Unfortunately, the original copies were sent, and then lost. Perry's arrest record also didn't have any fingerprints associated with it. The Louisiana John Doe became known as the Plaquemines Parish John Doe, and remains unidentified to this day. The best clue as to Perry possibly still being alive is a baffling phone call made in 1992 to his older brother Michael. Speaking to a reporter in 2014, Michael said that the unknown caller spoke to him in a way that had been an inside joke between the two siblings. Quote, "We did receive a phone call a few years ago, and it was someone started talking, and my brother and I used to talk Looney Tunes characters to each other years ago, and that's what this person was doing on the phone. Now either it was a sick joke, or it might have been. I said, now, is this Perry Corlew? Is this you, Perry? And he says, Perry who? Going like this, you know. So I don't know if it was Perry or not, but that's the last any indication if it was him to let us know he was okay." Unquote. Even as recently as 2014, Perry's loved ones had not entirely given up hope that the boy they once knew was still alive. His mother and father donated blood samples in the early 2000s in the hopes that their DNA would lead to their son being found. Michael Corlew said that he and his parents were, quote, "still hoping for a phone call, you know, or a knock on the door someday," unquote. To his brother he said, quote, "You better let us know you're okay. Call Mom and Dad, they want to hear from you. They love you. Just whatever the problem was, it's evaporated. Nobody's looking for you other than your loved ones, so call us." Unquote. Unfortunately, Roberta Corlew passed away in 2016 at the age of 88, never knowing what had become of her son Perry. If Perry Otto Corlew is still alive today, he would be 64 years old. He is a white Caucasian male and is classified as endangered missing. At the time of his disappearance, he was 17 years old, almost 4 months shy of his 18th birthday. He had brown hair and green or gray-green eyes, wore glasses to correct his vision, and was between 6 foot 2 inches to 6 foot 4 inches in height, and weighed 155 to 165 pounds. If you know anything about the vanishing of Perry Otto Corlew, or if you have information about his whereabouts, please contact the Crawford County Sheriff's Department at 989-348-4616. Thank you for listening to this episode. Again, if you have any information about this case, please contact the number shown on the screen.